AskReddit. What was the weirdest date you've ever been on? Third date with a guy from Hinge. Started off completely normal, went to a pub for a few drinks. Pub closes. Guy invites me back to his. We get back to his and have a few more drinks. He then asks if I'd like to smoke a joint. Hadn't smoked for a few years, but thought hey it'll be fine. End up feeling very sick and unable to move. Guy doesn't have a bucket or bowl, so brings over the entire kitchen bin and places it next to me. He then suggests we watch a movie. Guy puts on American Psycho and I sit there for the next 2 hours paralyzed and paranoid, completely convinced he's going to murder me. Also, he lived on a boat. Went to the Church of Scientology, roped in with promises of free food. We were on a date for Christmas. So odd. Edit. They had us take the personality test and tried to break us up. They said we were completely incompatible to the point of being toxic. We've been together 10 years lol. This girl from Tinder invited me over to cuddle, so I assumed that we were totally going to bang. I get there, she cooked a lovely dinner and we just kind of held each other and talked about our traumas for a while. I told her about stuff I don't even really talk about with my closest friends. Then we moved to her bed and she fell asleep like fast, and we just sorta cuddled all night. We never even kissed, except those back of the neck ones that happen when you're spooning. I woke up, we cuddled a little more, and then I went to work. It was an awesome, super intimate experience. Pretty weird though. Was going to go to a bar with a girl I met on Tinder. She showed up 15 minutes late, which wasn't that big of a deal. Got out of her car, crossed the street, and then awkwardly shook my hand. Told me she forgot her ID at home, apologized, and then left. It's hard to say I was catfished, cause the actual girl was there, but so was her boyfriend and her friend she thought I would be a better match with. What made it more odd is she had sent nudes. Full face nudes, not photoshopped face swapped. I could see the chest tat on her in person, no mistaking that. So I was 18, in the Air Force, and living in the dorms. My roommate set me up with his girlfriend's cousin, and the four of us went to a movie. She brought a stuffed animal. Not a tiny little thing some young women clipped to their keychain. It was a gigantic blue rabbit, at least as big as a toddler. She said she brought it because she sometimes gets scared in movies. We were seeing a comedy. After the movie, we grabbed some ice cream and drove the cousins home. My date invited me to kiss her at the door, but told me I should also kiss Pebbles so he wouldn't be jealous. Edit. Of course I kissed Pebbles. My date was actually out of my league, hot but crazy. Another one. I went on a date with this girl from Tinder. She super liked me and messaged first, so I was really happy to have someone interested. I asked if she'd like to go for a walk sometime, and she said she'd love to. So we get to walking, and like 5 minutes in, she asks if I have roommates. I said yes, I live with 5 people, and tell her about a few of them. There's Maximum, Matt, Mark. Wait, Mark Smith. I know him. What's he been up to? So we start chatting about my roommate, and she knows a lot about him. His family, the sports he plays, his girlfriend. Every time I try to move the conversation somewhere else, she brings it back to Mark. She's not even pretending to be into me anymore. She's just fangirling out over my roommate. I just love him. His hair is always so shiny, and he smells so nice. She spends the full 2 hours talking about him and asking all sorts of questions. I didn't really know what to do, so I just boredly keep answering. When we get back to our cars, she shifts gears again. Hey, so I had a really great time. Want to go back to your place to have some fun? She's really creeping me out at this point, so I tell her I have homework to do and maybe later. I get back and tell Mark about the date, and he knows exactly who she is. He picks up his phone and immediately calls the police. They show up at the house, find the girl outside in the backyard and arrest her for violating a restraining order or something. It turned out she was super unstable and had stalked my roommate since they went on one date almost a year prior. She recognized from photos she had of him and used me to find out where he lived. I went on a date with a girl to a bar and grill. The girl just got set free from a bad relationship. The bartender was her uncle, the server was her sister, and her fresh ex-boyfriend was there on a date with another guy. Dated a woman who didn't tell me she needed meds because she was psychotic. In the middle of dinner at a restaurant, she got quiet and distracted. I asked if she was feeling okay. Apparently one of the voices told her I was a horrible person and she pulled a steak knife on me. A customer was able to talk to her and got her to put the knife down. The police were called and she was arrested. I didn't press charges, and about a week later, she sent me a letter with proof that she's been in counseling for a long time, takes medication, and included a heartfelt apology. Went on a Tinder date who made it clear she had mental health issues and PTSD from past trauma. We decided to meet for bubble tea. I get a seat and wait. She walks in with a large stuffed shark. Cool. Plushes are fine. They can be a good therapeutic tool. She gets her beverage. We sit down to drink. Not even a hello was exchanged, and we dive right into how she was assaulted and raped. I was in the healthcare field. I can listen. The thing is though, she was talking very loudly. Uncomfortable levels of loudness about tough issues. I could not redirect her or change the topic. Nothing. She wasn't having any of that. So, I panicked and said, want to go to your car and make out. Her eyes light up and she loosens the grip on her stuffed shark. Okay. We get back to her car. We kiss, very awkward. It was mostly teeth. And the shark was kind of between us. I mentioned how I'm kink friendly to her previously. She hit me with a weird question and this awkward teethy kissing. Can we do some rape play? I kind of panicked again. You sure? I mean maybe, we can walk to a park. I stammered. We get out of the car. We walk towards a park. The entire time she is talking about her trauma. All that jazz. Just awkward. We get to a fairly private space. She softly says maybe we shouldn't do this? Yeah. Sounds good to me. I ended up jerking off while she watched me. I took an Uber home. I texted her that I had a good time. She ghosted me 100%. Told a girl I was into granular environmental shit. She replied me too, we hit it off quickly. Anyway, she kept talking up how incredible her job was and that she taught a bunch of kids about environmental issues and how amazing this job was. Basically begging me to come check it out. So we picked a day and I took the day off from work. It had been a while since we saw each other, so she decided it would be fun to send me real kinky texts about fun places we could sneak off to around her work as it was her fantasy. I was down, and I was getting in the mood myself. I drive to her work, only to find out she works at a trash burning power plant and recycling center, and on that day we'll be giving a tour to a bunch of preschoolers. Throughout the date, basically every chance she could, she would try to get me turned on when no one was looking. There were about 20 kids and teachers right there. Meanwhile we are walking through piles of rotten trash or looking at machinery that could kill you in an instant if you stepped over a boundary line, or staring into a white hot furnace to see the burning trash. Therefore you walked around the dirtier you felt, which in a way was not surprising. I still had the worst blue balls in my life, which in itself was questionable. Anyway, the tour ended, she took me in her office, and well, let's just say it took 3 showers and a wave to a priest to feel clean after that. I matched with a Chinese exchange student on Tinder. She asked me to meet her at her apartment, then we'd go link up with some of her friends at the waterfront. We are texting as I'm on the way over, and she didn't realize this was a date. Nonetheless, she asks me to pick up dinner for both of us on the way over. I get to her apartment, and before I can even take my jacket off, she says, so, do you have anything to say to me? Presumably because I'd spent 15 seconds in silence. I offer her the food she asked for. She said she wasn't hungry. I try to strike up a conversation, but she dead ends every topic I bring up. She starts texting and making phone calls. She was speaking Mandarin, presumably, but I was able to make it the name of the place we were supposed to meet her friends. She said something about how plans might change because her friend needs help. Throughout all this, I just sat by myself, eating my sandwich in silence. When I was finished, I asked if she just wanted me to leave. She said yes, then gave me $20 for dinner. I went on a 4-hour date with a woman who rides horses for a living. The entire 4 hours she told me everything I could possibly want to know about horses and then some. I learned so much about horses that I done Forgot most the shit she told me. Edit. Holy fuck. The puns have me dying lol. That sounds like a stable relationship.